Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. Today I'm going to be playing with some book pages, and I'm hopefully going to show you some ways to incorporate your book pages into your junk journal signatures in a way that's not just folding them in half and making a flip out. You maybe want to do something like this and add a few pockets, so that incorporated in page rather than having to stick bits on. Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to show you. So that's one of them. I have stitched around the edges, but you don't have to. It's nothing that you have to do. If you want to, you can. That one's got a pocket there, pocket again there. I think this is the one you'd be most interested in. I did try and show it you in a video a while ago and I just forgot how to do it, so there we go. I've practiced now. This one, that's got a large top pocket, and for now that's just flipping out. I may turn it into a pocket, I don't know. I just don't know. Can do what I want. Here's another one. Yeah, that's got a much larger pocket there. I think that one, I don't think that were a full page I had to play with, I'm not sure. And then we've got that page with pockets either side. So let's get started. I'll show you how to do that page and how to do that pocket page. Now there are the covers for my new junk journals that I'm making. Yeah, so pretty, that fabric. I did get it off eBay a few years ago. I have actually got a tutorial on how to make the cover, because I made one a couple of years ago and then I made a few spares. Yeah, because I make one and then I'm like, oh, let's make another two and fill it. Yeah, 2 years later, not filled it yet, but I'm going to, I promise. So yeah, that's the cover. I will link that video. Now the pages I've used today are from the, let me grab it, it's the Victorian Flower album by Henry Terry. Yeah, at the moment I think this is running a bit expensive on Amazon. It does come cheaper from time to time. It's always a bit cheaper on eBay. And if you, I don't know if you have Abe Books in USA or other parts of the world, but there's a site called Abe Books, ABE. They sell second-hand books, and yeah, they quite often have it in a reasonable price. I mean, I love this book. I'll give you a quick look. I will pay up to £15 for this book, which you might think, that's a lot of money to cut a book up, but I'd pay a lot more than that sometimes for a paper pad, wouldn't I? That's less than a Tim Holtz 12x12 paper pad. And look at the yumminess, oh my word. He's a bit grumpy though, I'd have to cover him up, you know me and grumpy people. You just know it's not happening. Look at that, how gorgeous is that? If you were making a big junk journal, can you imagine just cutting that out for a window and having that on your front? That'd be so gorgeous. I may have to do it one day. Even the script, it's yummy. The paper is not completely matte, but it's not really shiny anyway. It's more of a satin, and it's a lovely thickness. It's a round scrapbook paper thickness. Yeah, there's not a lot of wordage at the front. And then we go on to all these gorgeous pages. How amazing are they? Just look at them. And I'm not going to flick through the whole thing, but you've got another 100 and odd pages of that kind of yumminess. You do have the index pages at the back, but again, it's only a couple of pages. Absolutely lovely. You've also then got the book itself that you can make a journal out of. So yeah, I think that is well worth £15. I think the first one I bought was about £3.99, so I've got a bargain there. Now if you don't have the book and you still want to make this, there isn't any measuring to this, very little cutting. You could make it out of, I just happen to have got this out to make my pages in my journal, you could make it out of 2 pages of letter size or A4 paper. You would just first have to join them together like so. It's a bit like that. In fact, I'll show it you. I made these a few weeks ago. These are going to go in this journal. Yeah, that was made out of a large book page, and again you could still do it by putting 2 sheets of A4 or letter size paper together. In fact, 2 any shape rectangle pages would work. So yeah, if you just glued those together, you could make this with the paper. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to use my yummy book pages. Especially if you use printed digitals. Yeah, that would be really, especially if it were non-directional. Anyway, shut up woman and get folding your paper. No, I forgot how to do it by the time I get going. Right, which one shall I use? These are pages from my last copy. I've had umpteen copies of this book. Umpteen. Which one? Oh, there's some sideways there. Do you know what? I'm going to use that. Yes, use that one. And then the sideways page will be inside your pocket. And you won't have to deal with it then, will you? You won't be annoyed by it being sideways. Right, I'm not going to use a scoreboard for this. You can use a scoreboard. I'm just going to do what I tell you to do and just use a ruler and a pen. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a ruler and a pen. I'm not even using out spongy underneath. Right, where's your... I'll use this. I don't know where my scoring tool is. Oh, here it is. I've got too many tubs on my desk. Now I'm just going to score. I'm using lines on my mat to measure this. And this is your front page. About 1/4 to 1/2 inch. About there, that'll do. That'll do me. Try and get it straight if you can, it helps. And I'm just going to score. Yeah, I mean, that's enough for me. I can then fold that over. Whee. Sorry for flipping and flapping. I just find it easy to fold that way. There you go. I mean, the reason I'm not using a scoreboard is the book pages, and quite often they're not straight anyway. So if you put the top straight on your scoreboard, you might get world's wonkiest line down edge. Now then, I'm going to put that page up to the, not quite up to the crease. I'm going to give it about 1/8 of an inch. I think you can already see that this book page is taller on this end than it was near the what's it? Yeah, near the near the end, near the what's it. Right, then let's just fold that. I'll grab my bone folder again and we'll bone fold that. Yeah, so we've got rid of that sideways page now. We don't see it, so that's that. Now this is going to be my pocket on the front. I quite like how the front's ended up now as well, but I'm not too bothered. It'll look pretty either way. I'm going to grab one of my punches that happens to be 2 inch. Use whatever size you've got, and I'm just going to put that in the top, just so that you know it's a pocket basically. There we go. Now if you're going to ink, in fact, do you know what I'm going to ink? Do you know why I'm going to ink? Because one of my lovely subscribers, Phyllis, hello Phyllis, she was quite sad that, yeah, I do it a lot, we don't show the inking. We'll skip forward. I'll be like, I'll just ink this and then I'll be back. Well, today I'm just going to ink, and I'm going to, you can watch me ink. If you don't like inking, just fast forward a bit. This is for Phyllis. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, I'm good at waffling, so it's not like there's going to be an awkward silence while I'm inking, is there? Because, yeah. Again, I did a video recently where I said, I can't remember why I said I might be quiet today. And I weren't quiet at all. I don't think I've got quiet in me. Me and quiet are not friends. I've even got a really loud shout. As we say in Yorkshire, I've got a big gob. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm quite happy. Whee. So we've even got some wheezing, we're inking. I'm watching an old video. I've not done a lot this week. It's been too hot in UK and we don't have air conditioning. And what makes my house worse is it's quite a new house and it's all about keeping the heat in winter so your bills aren't too high. But oh my word, once that heat gets in summer, it takes days to get rid of it. It's like, I've got to set alarms to go up in the morning and open the door so that it gets cool. You know, for coolest time at night. It's ridiculous. I don't know why I'm inking that, because I'm going to fold it. Sorry Phyllis, I've got a bit carried away there. I only want to ink that bit, so that was for Phyllis. Thank you for watching, Phyllis. Thank you everyone for watching. Yeah, I might start including more comments in the videos. Yes, I was watching an old video by Pam at the Paper Outpost. That's what I started off saying, isn't it? Right, let's glue this and then I'll tell you about that. Right, so that's now my pocket, and I'm going to glue that part to there. Use your glue of choice or your tape or whatever. I'm going to use some glue stick. And the reason I'm going to use glue stick is because I like it. I'm using it because I can. Grab yourself a glue book, woman. This is just a book, and I put it down to put my glue on. Yeah, other glue books are available. I've been watching all sorts. I watched Kerry Griffiths. He did a video on glue books. He did a brilliant one on fussy cutting. I will link all these people in the description. That should please Kerry. He's very big on linking people who inspire you and whose stuff you've shared, which I completely agree with him. It's rude not to, isn't it? So that's that. And I will tell you what Pam at Paper Outpost were doing in a minute. I will, I promise. No, she would do it. I don't even remember what she was doing. It was just a general video. And she started making aeroplane noises. And I'm like, I wonder, I've never made aeroplane noises, or have I? I don't know. It's a bit like when you're feeding kids, isn't it? Right, I'm not going to seal that bottom yet. And the reason I'm not going to seal the bottom is I might want to put this in a journal that is shorter. And I can cut some off after. So there's no point sealing it yet. So that's my pocket. I can cut some off the bottom to make my page not quite as tall. Right, yeah, she made aeroplane noises. I did tell you, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Yeah, like, meow, meow. Yeah, I mean, I quite often just go, wee. Mad. Right, now I'm going to show you how to make the pocket. Are you still with me, people? Right, that pocket there. So we've made that one. Yeah. Now I'm going to show you how to make this one. And I'm getting a little tiny bit cheaty because I can't remember where I folded it. Did I make it? Yeah. I made it a little bit wider than the front. I just think that looks a bit interesting. If you then don't sew it into a signature and it's just going to be an insert, that looks more interesting. It just does. So I'm going to fold that about there. Yeah. See what I mean? You don't need to measure. And there's one piece of cutting on this. And I say cutting, but it's not a piece of paper we're cutting off. Right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down that crease. I'm going to ink that crease. There you go, Phyllis. You know me, I'm silly. If you watch me regularly, you know I'm silly. So I'm now going to call inking Phyllis in. Yeah, you got no one. I'll forget to do it. I'll forget I've said it by tomorrow. So on that crease there, I'm going to cut to at least halfway down the page. If you're not good at judging it, this is perhaps only a bit of measuring you need to do. Measure the height of your page. This is 8 and just over 1/4. So if I make sure I cut down 4.5 inches, put your ruler the other way around, you can measure it then, woman. I know I've cut at least halfway down my page. It's got to be at least halfway or page doesn't seem to work. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. It depends on height of your page and width. But this is a rule to make sure that it will work every time. So that's my mark, and I'm going to cut down to there. Now I need my big chompy scissors, which I've lost. I've lost my big Timothy scissors. Well, it's not like I've lost them. I'm never going to see them again. They are somewhere in my craft room or my bedroom or maybe living room. There's a chance I could have had them in the kitchen. You never know with me. But they don't seem to be in my craft room to hand. So cut just on that crease. If you've got a trimmer that you can do it where I have, but I decided to just do it with scissors, you can use that for it. Right, so once we've done that cutting, open that back up, and this bottom corner here, we're going to fold over from the bottom corner, and I'm going to use that edge and line it up along the bottom. I find this is the hardest bit for me, getting that corner in. If you don't get it perfect, you can always take a sliver off the bottom and it will be perfect. If you want it perfect. It's always a battle for me between perfection and slapdash. Not slapdash. Somewhere in the middle. I used to do cards and mini albums, as I've said many times, where everything's just so perfect. I love the freedom of junk journaling, but sometimes I forget that I'm supposed to be having that freedom, and I go back into, oh, it's got to be perfect mode. Anyway, so that's that. Now, the way we're going to make our pocket, have I done it wrong way? No, I haven't done it. It can't be wrong way. There's two ways to do this. Right, you can fold that over the back, like so. Sorry if I flip that a bit quick. And then you have the big pocket on the back, yeah? I like to have my big pocket on front, so the way to do that is to once you've made that crease, by doing that, yeah, fold that all the way back. Can you see? Yeah, I mean, we've got that little cut there, but it doesn't matter because we're going to bring that over. Yeah, it needs to be on this side to cover that cut up. So let's just backtrack. Right, we've cut at least halfway down. We've folded like so. Then we need to flip that back over, yeah? And then we're going to fold that page on that crease. So we're folding this flap. We'll line the bottoms up again. Can you see? Mine's not perfect, but I can live with it. And then we're going to fold that, crease that. Yeah? So that is a pocket. We'll turn over. Now that is a pocket. Now I'm just going to arch that down a bit because it's not quite straight. Now if you want that pocket to stay like that, leave it like that, but I personally like to fold that over. I just think it looks nicer. You can fold it over a little bit like that and just have that, or you can fold it over almost up to that little, almost up to the crease. Don't do it right up to the crease or it'll all get puckered inside and it just won't work. Well, it will, it'll just be all bulky and puckery and not good. Then fold it back. Personally, that's my favourite pocket. So there we go. And I like how that's gone. It's covered up some of that ugly bulby bit. It's covered that root up. I'm quite happy with that. They're sideways. I like them. Don't bother me. Fold that back out. We've got that pocket covering up a pretty boring bit really. And we've got a sideways plant there. Don't bother me. I like it. Let's do a bit more inking for Phyllis. Well, we're inking for everyone, but today the inking is dedicated to Phyllis. I hope you're watching, Phyllis. Whee. Stop it. It don't matter. It's straight enough. Get some ink on, you'll never know it's not straight. That bit's really annoying though, because that's not very straight at all. There you go. I do that often. I say I'm not going to do something, then I'm like, oh, I've just got to do it. It's a bit like when I start a diet. I'm not going to eat chocolate. Yeah. 3 hours later, out comes the chocolate. I'm not going to do this today. Then I'm doing it. So I'm just inking the bits that show. You see where I stopped myself inking before? Because, yeah, some bits are tucked in and you don't see them. I'm sorry for all the twirling I'm doing. It's been much easier if I were ambidextrous, but I'm not. We'll ink that. And you don't have to ink. I'm an inker, I like it. I like how that ink shows the definition of the edge of the pocket. If you want, you can come in and cut a semicircle. But if you are going to cut a semicircle, I suggest that you glue that bit to that bit or it will come open. I mean, there's going to be other things you can do to this. I could stick that on. I could make an extra pocket, but I don't want to. I'm quite happy with this one. It's a little bit of folding, one cut. Job's a good un, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, all that bag of mashings. Whee. Ooh, I don't know if this programme is on in other countries, but I've been watching the Full Monty this week, the series, the Full Monty. Now, there were a film in the 90s called Full Monty about some steelworkers who'd been made redundant. They were strapped for cash and they decided to be strippers. Funniest film in the world. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. In fact, if you haven't seen Full Monty, unsubscribe. Switch up. No, I'm joking. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's not dirty. You don't see anything other than little white bums right at end of film. Right at end of film. In fact, they're not white because they're being on a sunbed, but that's... I've just spoilt it now for a lot of people, haven't I? Yeah, spoiler alert, I should have put at the beginning of this. Right, I think we've done all the inking now, Phyllis. So that is our page. I could probably have done that in a third of the time if I'd shut up. Right, I know that this is going to be the right height for my journal, so I'm going to come in. Or is it? Do you know what? Let's just check that. I'm saying things that could be false. That is a little bit too tall for my journal, so I'm going to come in and trim the bottom. And I'll show you how trimming the bottom is not going to affect any of these pockets. Right, get your trimmer out, woman. Where's my trimmer? Oh, yes. Look at this trimmer I've got. Ta-da! And I'd like to thank each and every one of you who have watched one of my videos, because the revenue from the adverts, also what made it possible was some very kind people who donated to me through Buy Me a Coffee and the super thanks on this channel. So I've got the Tim Holtz Tonic Media Trimmer. So I've now got a full length trimmer that fits on my desk. I don't have to use my ancient huge thing. So I'm just going to pop that in. I've not quite decided the best way to use it on my desk yet. I think that's best way, yeah, so I can actually see what I'm doing down this end. Yeah. But then you can't see. Should we put it Katie cornered? It only just fits on my desk. But there we go, that'll do. Right. When I'm not filming, it doesn't matter where I put it, does it? So I'm just going to cut off a sliver. A slivery sliver. I'm saying a sliver, it might be a slightly bigger sliver than I'm intending. Right. Oh, look how easy that were to go through all them layers. I mean, at one point, did we have we had 4 layers of book page there. And, oh, look at that. I'm quite liking it. I am liking it. And it's so light, which is brilliant for me. Woo. So, I've just inked top bottom now. I'm going to have to ink it again, because I didn't measure. Phyllis, this is like your dream video woman, isn't it? So I'm going to have to ink that again. It's not a big job. It's not a big job. So yeah, like I said, we don't like all this inking. Just fast forward. Fast forward. Right, there we go. I'll link that bit in a bit. Sorry, Phyllis. I'm going to do that bit later. So now let's glue. Let's glue. Right, so I'm going to glue. You see that gap there? I'm going to glue inside there, and to make it easier I'll just unfold that. I don't need to glue down there because this bit's going to wrap around. So I'm just going to glue along the bottom. I'm using art glitter glue. That's a lot of glue, so I'll just smooth that out. There we go. Flip it over. I'm just going to put a little bit on there so it don't get caught on anything. I mean, if you wanted to cut that piece off and use it elsewhere, you could. I quite like how it adds to... It makes my pocket a little sturdier. And then I'm just going to glue along the bottom. Not that bit, just the bottom. I've got so much stuff on my desk today. I've got my sewing machine on my desk as well on the right hand side. So it's sort of made my desk a bit smaller. I should have moved it before I started filming, but hey ho. I didn't. Right, so that's that. Now, I love that. And because I now know... Did I glue that? No, let's glue pocket down. This is coming out really fast. I think it's the heat, because it's still quite warm here today, even though it's not as warm as it has been. Oh, yeah, it was too warm to be in my craft room. I did not have the energy to organise the craft downstairs. I've spent most of the week with my feet up again, because the mosquitoes have been taking chunks out of me. I don't know where it is these last few years with mosquitoes in the UK. I don't know, I think some may have emigrated from some tropical areas. And I'm just going to glue inside that bottom flap. I've always reacted badly to mosquitoes, but I don't know. Something happened to them during COVID, during pandemic. I mean, I didn't even go anywhere near any grass. Nowhere where I could get bit during that. So I did not want to end up ill with them. But yeah, they've had me twice so far this year. So I've now got some industrial strength mosquito repellent. I've got the mosquito repellent you would use if you're going on an Amazon adventure. Yeah, I'm in UK, I'm in Sheffield. Wowza. Right, so that's that. Boy, did I waffle. So we've got a pocket, a pocket, a pocket. It's only 3 pockets, but that is far more interesting, I think, in my journal than just a little flip out. Right, so that's that one. I'm going to show you one more with a different book page, because I can. Right, this one. I've gone ahead and decorated these a little bit. I'm not going to go decorating today. I've not got the energy. But I'm just going to show you how I make it. Now, this is, it's the same thing, but I've done it with, and that's slightly different. This was one long, tall book page, and I've got both these pockets out of it. I could decorate it, couldn't I? So let me show you this book. Now this book is far cheaper. I'm not sure about USA, but at the minute you can get these for less than £5 on eBay, so go get them. The Illustrated Book of Wildflowers. This is a brilliant book for fussy cutting. I do some fussy cuts from here, and then I use some full pages as are. That says £2.50, that's not where I paid. This has got a lot of wordage, pages with words on, but again, I love these for cutting out for journal cards and tags. There's quite a few pages in the front with black and white sketches, but then we get to these. Yeah, you get the flower or weed and a little description. So yeah, I like them. But the pages themselves are rather large. Let me try and get, no, that one. Let me find the centre of this next signature. Where are you? There you are. And look at that. For each section, the first one is that. Now, if you're into adult colouring books, that would be brilliant. Again, that would make a lovely journal page. Yeah, you could cut it out or not. You could, I mean, fussy cut it. You could colour it or not. Yummy. Right, grab your scissors, woman. And this is, I've got a rather unique way of getting signatures apart, because one at kids bent point on my first pair of Tim Holtz scissors. So now it's perfect for that. I mean, a stitch unpicker does the same job. People gasp when in fact they'll be gasping if I get my hand too near that. They gasp when I play with sharp tools, because I'm good at cutting myself. Whee. I was never one of them kids who could do dangerous sports. There we go. And I will take a couple of pages out. I might have a few holes in that one, so I might not want to use that one. It's going to be a bit stabby. I weren't as careful as I am when I'm not on camera. I'll take that one out as well. And that last one where it's also glued, look, that's totally coming apart at spine. I think they're from 80s, these books. There are two versions. Sometimes that's in green, sometimes it's in brown. I've not worked out how and when and why and what yet. Right, let's pick a page to use. I don't think I want to use the one with that lovely line drawing, so I may want to use this one. Oh, that's pretty. That is so pretty, isn't it? I'm going to use that, then I'll have this on front and I don't have to then decorate it with something else. Yeah. Oh, that would be nice. Fussy cut though, wouldn't it? You can't have everything, woman. That's the problem with these. It's like the gorgeous scrapbook papers. Which side are you going to use and which side aren't you? Right, this obviously is too tall to go in a junk journal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. I'm not going to measure the height. I'm going to cut it somewhere where it's going to look good. Now I want to cut it just above that yellow flower. So I can get this one in my little trimmer. So just get that in your little trimmer, and I'm going to cut it just above the yellow flower, or maybe there. Yeah, there we go. So that is what I'm going to have on the front. I might trim a bit at bottom off just because I can, just so that is more centered, that yellow flower. I mean, I'm not above wasting that much book page. Yeah, I like that. Right, and on this, I'm going to do exactly the same. Well, I'm not going to do exactly the same, I'm fibbing. What I'm going to do is, I'll make the pocket on this side exactly the same, but on this side, I'm just going to do a flip out with a pocket. So, to make my pocket, again, I'm not going to use my, although that side would be straight now, so I could use my scoreboard, but I can't be bothered. I'm getting so lazy with things. I think I might be becoming a true junk journaler. I can't be bothered to print things out. I can't be bothered to measure out. Right, I'm just doing that somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch, because that's going to be the edge of the pocket. I will glue that down now before we do anything else. I'll get my gluing book out. Yeah, I do the puzzles sometimes. I've not finished that one. If anyone can spot which one should be Q, let me know. Because I don't think I've figured out what the Q is yet. Right. I'm just going to put some glue stick down the edge. There we go. Sorry, if you haven't figured that out now, put it away. So that's just for the edge of my pocket, and then I'm going to fold it over to make a pocket. That looks weird, that, but I'll cover one of them up. I don't want a very deep pocket, just a little one. Like I say, no measuring, just making it up as we go along. I ought to have told you the size of that book page, really, didn't I? It's huge. It's huge. The pages are nearly 8.5 inches wide, so it's far too wide for a junk journal. And height-wise, yeah, it were big. Let's measure a different one. Measure one at others, yeah, it were big, big. So it's a good way to use any oversized book pages, isn't it? Yeah, it's like, oof, 11.5 inches tall by nearly 9 wide. So you could perhaps cut it in half and then fold one over, but then everything would be sideways, wouldn't it? Right, so that's going to be a pocket. And what I'm going to do is I will glue this with my art glitter glue. If you are going to go on and sew it, use a bit less glue. That didn't want to stick very good, so I'm just going to put that there. Use a bit less glue if you're going to go around it with sewing machine. That's entirely up to you. You don't have to, but you can. Yeah, that looks weird having that there and there, so what I'll do is I'll just put a label over that. And I can decorate that with a fussy cut. So that's that. And then I'm going to fold that over. I think maybe about there. Yeah, I'll cover that brown up. So then in my junk journal, that will be a... Oh, yeah. I should have folded it a little bit less. Because I've mucked that flower up now. Do you know what? I'm going to fold it a bit less. I want to see that flower. There we go. There we go. I'm glad I've not bone folded that. I would have been very sad. There you go. We'll never know that other crease we're in. If you can see it, pretend you can't. It's a little bit wonky. So coming again with bone folder. There we go. Oh, I nearly made a big mistake there, but again, I'm watching someone else. I don't know who had said this. She said there are no mistakes because we have crafty brains and we'll always find a way around it, and it's so true. Right, this one I'm going to make the pockets again. So fold that over. Yeah, I'm going to fold it to, it's about 1/4 inch short at fold. The reason we don't fold anything up to fold is if you're sewing that into your signature, it's going to make it very bulky along your spine. Right, then I'm going to cut to at least halfway down. So I've lost 2 rulers. 2 rulers I've lost while I've been doing this project. Here's one. So that is 6.5 inches high. So if I cut to 3.5, I know I'm fine. So just short 3.5. There we go. And it's not even that one I want to cut. You silly woman. It's this one you want to cut. Are you having a laugh? So I'll just mark across. There we go. And then I'll rub that out. There you go. Reason 26 to use a pencil, not a pen, if your name's Julie. So I'm going to cut down from the top, just like we did on the last one. And you'll see that we're going to get exactly the same thing, just on a different book page. There we go. Then I shall put it, we're back the right way, and I'm going to fold that down, fold it from this corner. There we go. This book page is a little bit thinner, so it was much easier to fold than that first one. Crease that, then I'm going to fold that up. There we go. Fold that over, and then fold that. In fact, you can fold that in to get it straight before you fold that over. Yeah, you can. You certainly can. There we go. Turn that over, and I'm going to fold this bit. I like to make sure it's nice and tight there so we don't have a baggy pocket. Like I say, you can always trim this bottom edge if things aren't lining up perfectly. especially if it's a book page that's not straight. Now I'm going to fold that in from nearly that corner again and fold that over, and I'm quite happy with that. I like how that's up above that. That was just coincidence. That was the one I was trying to get perfect, and then I nearly chopped it off. Right, get your bone foldering, woman. Now let's see what that looks like. Sorted. I like that. I'm happy with that. So now I just come in with, I'm not inking this one, Phyllis. I'm just going to glue this. I'll ink it after. You think you've had enough inking today, woman? You certainly have. So let's glue that down. I'll glue that inside bit down. This one I am going to stitch, so I've not put quite as much glue on. I've decided. Turn that over. I'm just going to put a bit there so that flap don't get all flippity floppity when you put things in pocket. And then I'm going to glue along that bottom. There we go. So, again, that's another book page. I've got glue everywhere. If you can get glue everywhere, stick a butterfly on it. Right, bring my little journal cover in now, one of them. Right, so let's have a look, see. I've got my tea-dyed paper, which is, it's not cut to size yet, but I'll fold a bit over now and see what occurs. So I'm going to have to trim these. Right. I just grabbed a handful. I will put a link in the description to the lady who I buy it from as well. I can't honestly remember her name because I didn't write it down. The name on my lips today was Phyllis. Oh, look at that. So that can go in there. Now let's put that one outside the tea-dyed paper. Oh, look at that snail. How cute is that? So, which one did we make today? Wait, that one? Yeah, we made that one today. Here's the one we made today. So that's that. And then inside that, I'll put this other one we made today. And that would, so if you were flicking through your journal, you'd see that side there with your big pocket. Now that, to me, does not need any more embellishing. That is gorgeous as it is. You'd turn your next page. Let's pretend that was a page. You'd have that there, yummy. Turn it over. Then you can, oh, pull that out and you've got a little hidden pocket there. I just love hidden pockets. So we'd then turn that page, we'd have that pocket there. I think you get the idea, don't you? So, there you go. But in addition to them being journal pages, you can just use these as standalone little inserts to pop into a journal pocket. All depends on what you're making, doesn't it? You do you. So, let's... I fibbed at you, Phyllis. I am going to ink that because I want to decorate it. We've got enough time left. Video's not gone on that long, even though I seem to have had, yeah, a case of a verbal upset stomach, as we say over here, about people who never stop talking. Right. I'm not going to cut any off that I like it. If I knew it wasn't going to shine in your eyes, I'd get my glass mat out to make my inking go a bit quicker. Because I film in front of a window, sometimes it just really glares. I've got to fiddle about with handle my camera and stuff. Grab your ink, woman, because yeah. Have I dipped in ink yet? All inking I've done. That's a new ink pad. Yeah, I'm not a fan of re-inking my pads. It just doesn't seem to last long enough. I think I'll just... I mean, they last long enough as it is. I'll just go for new pads. Yeah. Well, you can do other things with re-inkers. That's silly, that woman. Just gonna borrow that. Just to ink that edge. There we go. So I don't want too much of that going off. But I've obviously got some of that going off. Pop that in there. Just ink that edge. There we go. And I'll do the same in that pocket. Twink the edge. And then even I'm running out of things to talk about while I do all this thinking. Oh, my kids finished school yesterday, year 11 in the UK, and it's all different to how it is in the US. The 16-year-olds, they've finished, well, they've got to go and do something for the next 2 years. Mine are going on to what we call sixth form, which I suppose is equivalent to the last 2 years of high school in the US. So one's going to be doing history and things, and others going to be doing art and things, sociology. I can't remember who's doing what. I've got twins. It's very difficult to remember who's who. I think if there were different age children doing different things at different times, I'd have more chance of remembering who's who and what they're up to. It's just a twin thing. I know I've got quite a few people who watch who have got twins. Yeah, it's true, isn't it? It's really weird. Really weird. Whee. Ooh. Missed a bit. Right, that'll stick under them creases, whatever. I just want to decorate it now. Right. So that front needs very little, but it needs something because it's looking a little bit boring. And what's it going to have? I think it's going to have a label there and maybe some words there. And then Job will be a good one. Bob will indeed be your uncle. But we've said that already once today, haven't we? Right, I'm going to grab some sentiments. I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz ones. My default sentiments. They go good with everything. Do I want white or would brown be better? I think brown might be better on this. Where's your brown ones, woman? Where are your brown ones, woman? What are you doing with them? Tell me I've lost them. I have them all to the side of me, all organised. They're so organised I can't find them. There we go. Do you know, I've just found some Halloween ones that I looked all over for last week. Last week were Halloween in June. Right, yeah, these are the ones I want. I don't know what I'm going to put there, but I'm going to put something there. Right, Magic in Truth. Get the original, I'm going to put get the original and genuine, I think, because that's an original genuine book page. So that would be good. Some really strange ones on this one, Timothy. Inspection requested. Yeah, I think there is an inspection being requested on my brain. I think I need it. I'm just going to ink the edge. And then I'm going to pop a bit of glue on this. I just want to break up that white space a bit. And I think I will also add a bit more ink, Phyllis. There you go. We'll make that look even older. Yeah, that looks better. I know it's a flower. I'm putting inspection requested, but I can. There we go. That's all I need. And then I'm going to grab a label for the bottom. Don't want a really dark black one, do we, woman? No. Where's your lighter coloured labels? Get your folder out. I've been reorganising them. I've got some in little tubs, some in a folder. A few of you have recommended the longer tubs. I do have some of those. These. Yeah, these, I have them. The trouble is, my craft room is so small, I struggle for storage space if I've got too many different things. So, oh, what we got here? Oh, I like that one. I think that's a favourite of mine. Oh, I could put another label under there, that would be good. I mean, I'm not into using lace at the minute. That would also be good. But it's just, no. I don't like it at the moment. I don't know why. I need to get back into it. Oh, we've got a different shaped one. I might put another little label under that says something else. You know, like the date that we're going to have the inspection. Inspection requested. Inspection denied. I don't even know what that says. I don't know what that says. Yeah, that one's too big. I'm going to have that. Bring a little bit of blue in. Yeah, space is always an issue. I have storage in my bedroom as well. I have a huge double wardrobe, but you know, storage for things that you want to hand to use that aren't tucked away, that can be an issue. I always say my craft room is a bit like the wardrobe of someone who has a lot of clothes. You have to swap things out for seasons, and I'm a bit like that. I think that's why I don't get around to doing Christmas sometimes, because it's like, it's still warm. Have I really got to go and get all that Christmas stuff out? That's that. I'm quite happy with that. It's not thrilling, but it'll do. Right, I have just got my botanical fussy cuts out as well. And I think I want to pop one on here. I'm not making things to fill the pockets today. That really would be taking this video on to, yeah, people would be falling asleep. Oh, that's pretty. We would be going into it next day, won't we? Oh, that's even more eye-catching. I like that. And then I think that could do a little label.
I'm not sure.
Every time, that's all you ever say, isn't it? Have you got another line, Gertrude? It's weird, isn't it? Do other people say that? That's my Amazon device, by the way. Do other people say, sorry, I'm not sure? Or do they say something different? Is it just mine? Do I want that, or do I want the blue? I think I want the blue. I like the blue. Yeah. Right. I'm not even going to bother inking that. That's far too fiddly to ink. It's not happening. Whee. There we go. If any bits lift up, I'll just use my fine point of my glue to unlift them, to glue them back down. That's it. Quite happy with that. And how about a little label there? I don't know what I've done with my little box of Tracy Fox labels. Oh, I like that there. Yeah, you know, with that being brown. Yeah, that's going there. And then for the other pocket, I think just a butterfly on that would be yummy. I'm gluing these with my art glitter because I've put them on a slightly thicker paper, so I don't think I'd trust my glue stick on them. It's a thin cardstock, really. Yeah, I like that. And that needs a butterfly. I do have some butterflies out. I've got one here. That's too big, isn't it? It's far too big. Do you know, I've just thought I could have put a butterfly up there. Yeah, I'm going to put a butterfly up there, because that bit of white space is very annoying. It's too big. Had we had the white space on the right, it wouldn't have been as bad. Right, let's find a butterfly for this. We don't want the butterfly to steal the show, but that's too big. Oh, he's nice, isn't he? Oh, I do like him. But I think he might be a bit big. Oh, that's better. He's probably a moth, but I call them all butterflies. So, there you go. I'm not going to ink him either, because I've not inked the flower on the inside, and that's not got ink round, and blah-de-blah. It's on a white background, so it doesn't need any definition. I've cut him with a very white thin border. He's just one I've cut out from a butterfly book. Oh, that's better. And I want another butterfly for there. What colour do we want there? Ooh, that's nice, that green one. But how's that going to look with his wing poking out? Not too bad, but I think I prefer it not poking out like that. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to go there. And I might put a label over edge there. Now, he needs a bit of ink because he's got some very white edges. He's got some really white edges, because this is a digital. This is, I think it's a little digital I put together back when my brain were working and I could master my program. Yeah, if you go to my Buy Me a Coffee site, there is a link again in description, and there's one up on my banner if you're watching on a desktop. I've just done a few. I think there's some butterflies, some mushrooms, few little fussy cut things, flowers. Like I said, they're free. It's very much appreciated if you buy me a coffee, but it's by no means required. Whee, there we go. Right, so I want to put another label on, and I'm looking at this one. And what I want that to do is I want it to look good there, and look good there, and also look good there. I'm not asking much of this label, am I? It's got 3 jobs. Wow. I hope it don't want paying 3 times. What about that one? No, that's far too dark. It steals the show. Ooh. I've got an idea. I want to put something else on there. Do you know what? I might put that there. Serial number 375. Inspection requested. I'm on my brain. No, I don't like them. Get back in your book, woman. See, I'm working on top of myself now because I've got my sewing machine and all that paraphernalia out. Note to self, do not leave your sewing machine and all the paraphernalia out before you start filming another video. I've now found something I lost in my last botanical video, you silly woman. It turned up in here. What am I like? I think I may need some text. Or I think I may need a brown one. Maybe a number. They've got text on. We'll have a number. Ooh, I want that one. It's not too dark. But then, no, I don't want that one. It's plainly obvious today I can't make a decision to save my life either. I'm out of practice. You know, we're not filming all week. I've had my feet up watching YouTube. It's been brilliant. I've also been watching a TV series called Vera. That's really good. It's an old one. I want the red one now, so I've changed my mind completely. I've gone from I don't want the label to steal the show to I want a bit of red on it. Because I can. I'm very tempted to go back to that idea. No. Stick with this one. Yeah, I'm very... You know, so when people ask how you do certain things, how do you collage, how do you do this, how do you do that, oh, how do you do it so quick and easy? Well, today I think I'm proving that when I've not done it for a while, I can't do it quick or easy, but I don't give up. That's the thing, isn't it? Just crack on. You'll get there in the end. May not be your best piece of work ever, but I'm sure it's going to be worth seeing. Yeah, I want that there. Whee, I didn't know I wanted that, but that is what I got. Whee. And plenty of wheeze. Have I put that too high up now? No, that's perfect. Put it upside down. Quick, rip it off. I know I'm getting more free and easy in my old age, but upside down is not going to cut the mustard. Really isn't. There we go. Phew, that was so lucky I spotted that straight away. Right. So we've got those decorated. We've got the front decorated. Did I decide to put something else on the front? I can't remember. I can't remember. I've had a sleep since then. Or I've took a breath since then. Now this one, no, you can't put that on. I think we're going to go, I'm not going to put anything else around that. I'm going to go with a butterfly. Get your butterflies back, my sis. Where have you put them? Butterflies. I can hear dogs out now next door. It's obviously, it's there. Could there be any nearer? Going to bite your aunt nose. Yeah, it's getting a little bit later now. It's not too hot out for the little dog. Although that might not be next door's dog. It could be next door but one's dog. I don't know. No, don't use green. You had green on the last one. No, we don't want orange. That's too pale. That's a book page one, I can tell, because it's got writing on the back. Ooh, a sideways one. Yeah, you know, they always get forgotten about, those poor little butterflies that point sideways, don't they? But I think it's perfect on that. I even fussy cut feelers on sideways ones. I don't know what that's all about. If a butterfly has got, well, they've all got 2 wings, you know what I mean? If it's a front on view like that, I don't fussy cut feelers. Life's too short to fussy cut feelers, I always say. I watched, like I say, I was watching that video by Kerry and his fussy cutting tips, and that was just, you can fussy cut, you can cut the feelers. I sound drunk. You can cut off the feelers and draw them back in with a pen if you so wish. Oh, that's it. For not wanting to decorate it and not knowing what I wanted to do, I'm quite happy with how that went. Oh, we've got that one. I've nearly missed one of my flaps off. Ooh. We could put that one there. I cut these out specifically. I knew I would need some long, thin flowers. That's better. I like that. Oh, yes. Glue it on, missus. Glue it on before you change your mind. Wee. So, yeah. Right, so now my kids have finished school. In theory, I don't have to get help them get anything ready for school anymore. I don't have to wash the school uniform, which they mainly do themselves anyway, apart from when they forget or can't be bothered. So, I've got them at home all day, apart from when they're out and about doing things. So my life should be a lot easier. What do you think? Do you think it's going to work like that? Do you think my life's going to be easier? I'm going to put that one there because it blends in better with, yeah. Yeah, I like that. It's the perfect width as well. Yeah, so in theory my life's going to be easier because they're going to have time to do all washing up, cook all meals, do all cleaning, wash their own clothes. Yeah, go and get their own, shop for their own food. Right, so do you think it's going to work out like that? Let me know what you think. If you've been in my situation, I'm a single mum. Did your kids all of a sudden start doing everything for themselves around the house when they left school? Well, I say left school, they're going back in September. But we're only at middle of June now. They've got like a US length style holiday. Because their holidays normally start somewhere near end of July until September. Right, that's that. I'm quite liking that. I'm not doing anything with it. I like it. You could gesso over it and write. You could stick something else on at a later time. But for now, that is staying as is. That is like that. And that is like that. I'm quite happy with that now. Yeah, so that's that one. I've lost the other one we made. Where's it gone? I don't know. I don't know. I've lost it. Where'd it go? Yeah, I am a woman who has lost the plot. So we made one of these. Is that the one we made? I don't know. I'll find it for thumbnail at end. Crazy. It was the same as that one, was it? We made one with a flap anyway. Right, do you know what? I'm going to set her off. Because my desk is an absolute wreck. It's wrecked. Nothing's got a lid on. Nothing's back in its original box. I am so out of practice. I've trashed everything. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've actually learnt something from that, or at least you've enjoyed the waffle. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.